I know I didn't ask the other candidates this question, but since you don't support it, will you be fighting to get it on the ballot so that other constituents can make that decision?
Let me answer. So if you see this, the city of Smyrna itself, if they set aside funds for those feasibility studies. I'm not saying the county's going to set aside funds, but I think we should do the most to get the message out to more people. So if that's what I'm going to do as a county commissioner, I believe that is useful and necessary. For me to get people and say, hey, it's going to be on the ballot, that's up to them. But I can see if we can get funds to expand or have more town halls as a commissioner myself.
Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, candidates. Back to you, Joe.
All right. The residents of District 4 often do not participate or vote in the same percentages as other parts of the county, and this is playing out most recently in the lower numbers of census participants. This harms our chance to move our district forward. How would you specifically get the citizens of this district engaged and informed to the same extent as other parts of the county, because it is not now happening in District 4? Ms. Delancey, first, you get the first attempt at this question.
Well, what I have done is provide opportunities for residents to go to meetings with the Cobb County level as well as the state level. I go and get a bus. Word of Faith has been so kind to give me a bus, so I bring people to the meetings. So that's how I get them engaged. I also do an aggressive newsletter in the community where we're out talking to people, inviting them to meetings. And so therefore, that is the goal. That is the goal, to be hands-on, to be grassroots level, and also continuously show residents that they are part of the decision-making process. Once you let them know they are valued and they're part of the process, that's how you get them engaged. So that's what we will do, and we'll continue to do as Cobb County Commissioner. Thank you.
Sure. Well, obviously, we need to have more community engagement. But I think what's happening with the low voter turnout, at least for some, it's a chicken or egg. So traditionally, people do not come out and vote because the thought is their vote will not count. So then you ask yourself, why do they feel that way? So when they look in their communities and they see a lack of service, when they see a lack of, police response or ambulance or whatever the case may be, they're not encouraged to go out and make their voices heard. That's a problem. We need to find more ways to get people generally engaged in the process. We have community events. We should constantly always have voter registration drives. We should even have like town hall meetings. Just engage the people in the process. But there's obviously a disconnect between people voting and feeling that their votes count.
Yes, so, a lot of my business is community engagement. And as I did the South Cobb rebranding campaign, we collected about 500 surveys, and we were successful in that because we went to where the people were. We met people where they were on Six Flags Drive, online, through newspapers, and we had a number of town halls to discuss important information. And so you have to, in certain communities, you have to build excitement around it. That's how people get engaged. You have to show them the value of it, how it values them. And that would be my approach. It's not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of effort and letting people know that you care, and the mere fact that you show up at their doorsteps or in their community shows, it demonstrates that you care about them.
In the past, going back to doing more events and everything, in the past we had done our efforts of trying to get people to register to vote, like the Back to School Bash in Powder Springs and South Cobb up there in the Six Flags area. Trying to do, like I said, do more town hall meetings, let them know how important it is to vote, and let them know what it took us to get to vote, help them to understand the process and what it means to vote and get the right people in office. Matter of fact, I was just sitting here thinking about it, get some of these high school kids to go out here and talk to these residents, because high school kids require community service. So put them to work out there and say, hey, we'll knock on doors, get people to register to vote, to find more innovative ways to reach the public and let them know that they vote count. Many people already say that they vote don't count, but we got to convince them that they vote do count. So again, it's to educate on the importance of voting, and again, continue to do public events with voter registration tables at the helm.
Good question. I think as a first generation Mexican American, I understand there's more than just absence of people don't want to vote, but it's also sometimes this is the first time people will ever get the chance to vote. Their parents probably never voted back in their countries, and this isn't just for Latino or Hispanic Americans. This is also for first generation African Americans, as well as other ethnicities that we have in the district. And as a candidate before we had this pandemic, I had the privilege to knock over probably over 3,000 doors with a team of people. And I think it's really important for us to be out there in the communities. As we have these small town halls for the cityhood movement that these organizations did, we also have to have these, but not just town halls. We have to be out there knocking on doors and give people a reason why, you know? It can be something new. We have trailer parks, apartments. These are hard to count communities. And that is reflected not just in the census, but also in voter turnout. And I'm sure if you went out there and got them to come out and vote, that changed everything for District 4, not just District 4 out of Georgia.
As a member of the Cobb Census Committee, I was actively working to help educate the public about the importance of the census. Unfortunately, COVID-19 impacted not just our election, but our ability to reach out to citizens in different ways that we would normally try to reach them. Some of the things that I've been trying to do is putting information in the South Cobb patch and telling folks that they're leaving monies on the table. They're walking away from monies because the census means money for our community. It means better things for our community. And I think a lot of folks don't understand that. Each week I get a tally of where we are in terms of our numbers. And I turn around and I put that information in the South Cobb patch because a lot of folks don't have access to the Marietta Daily Journal or other ways of getting information. And so I'm doing my part to try to educate the public in terms of why it's important for folks to fill out the census. And each time I could see the numbers going up with folks responding to that. Thank you.
To engage in a broad-based, massive education campaign. What folks in District 4 want, whether you're a renter or you're a homeowner, whether you're struggling or you're extremely prosperous, whether you're new to this community or country, or if you're one of many of our diverse backgrounds, is they want people to bring the bacon home for their district. And you have to paint a picture and show how having a stronger county commission that has views and ideals that are aligned with District 4, how District 4 and your turnout could have flipped the gubernatorial election. There were enough votes left on the table in District 4 that Stacey Abrams could have been elected. We have to engage in that, and we have to do it in a sincere and an optimistic manner, meaning we have to be out at all of these events. You're going to have to work yourself to the bone as commissioner. That's what I plan on doing, and that's what I'm going to commit to doing, and showing and educating District 4 on what they will get by coming out.
One specific reason that the voters should choose you and not one of the other candidates.
I don't like comparing myself to other folks, but anyway, I've been working in the community here for a long time, and they know me and they trust me. So the thing is having trust when you're representing the community. They want to make sure they can reach out to you, that they can talk to you, and that you can get things done in a professional, orderly manner. If you don't, at least you'll get back with them. So it's trust. They have seen me in the community getting things done and making it happen. And I'm riding on the fact that people trust me and they know who I am.
Thank you, Deborah. Yes, so I am the best candidate for this seat because I have the most comprehensive experience. It's broad-based. Having been a business owner for 23 years, I've been in a lot of boardrooms and understand the business language and have relationships with Cobb Chamber, Cobb Tourism, Community Development, all of those departments that it takes to bring home what we need here in this district, and that is significant investment in jobs. Once we get those jobs here in the district everything else will follow suit, as I mentioned about the example. And we could see that example at Cumberland with their CID. That's why they have ThyssenKrupp. That's why they have the Braves. And so I will be aggressive just like that to bring home those investments for our people so they can work and we can have other amenities.
I think that my work related to stopping a waste transfer station from bringing 150,000 tons of waste to our community each year shows that I am the candidate that can move South Cobb forward. Stopping that waste transfer station allowed economic development, housing to come on Riverview Road. And that's a prime example of the work that I did to bring the community together, to lobby the Board of Commissioners, to fight that business that misled the Board of Commissioners, the EPD, everybody, that they had the right to bring that next to our homes. And so using my local, state, and federal government experience, I was able to fight that issue, bring the community together. And the same thing with lobbying for the advancement of and development of Magnolia Crossing. I will use my experiences on the local, state, and federal level, my business experience, to bring in public-private partnerships to help develop our community. And that's why I should be elected. Thank you.
District 4, I've always been with you since day one of me residing in Cobb County, since 2007. Being instrumental in advocating for not only renters, but for my students, my families. And I can attest to the fact that not only the Cobb County Democrat Women's Committee recognized my efforts, but also the Cobb County NAACP, Austell Community Task Force, Volunteer of the Year, South Cobb Business Association, Citizen of the Year. In addition to that, making sure that renters are being able to get safe and environment to live in by bringing them to the county and forcing the county to come and do something. And that's what I will continue to do. That's what I've been doing since day one. I didn't wait for nobody to say, you're running for office, let's go do it. Let's go do a food pantry. I didn't wait on it. I did it since day one. And from day one, even right now, I'm out here passing out groceries right now with the Salvation Army. So that's what I will do. And that's what I continue to do for our families and for our community. Thank you very much. Win in the future, Monica Delancey.
Question, thank you. As they asked Joe Biden, what will fundamentally change when he gets elected? And hopefully we get a Democratic president. But I'm going to give you the good answer that he should have responded. Everything will fundamentally change. As somebody who knows District 4, as somebody who has been living here their whole life, I understand the struggle of what it means to waiting for a bus, walking down a sidewalk that needs a sidewalk. And you can tell, like, the truth is, from these conversations we've been having, I've heard the most. And day one already began. So as your county commissioner, I will bring that fundamental change that the community is asking for.
I'm not here to compare myself to the other candidates. I'm asking for your vote and for you to join the Hunt for Cobb campaign because I have 19 years of complex legal experience. I've been preparing to run by serving with 10 years of public service experience, wherein I've worked with the counties of Clayton, DeKalb, Fulton, the city of Atlanta, North Fulton, and South Fulton on varying issues of economic development, housing affordability, workforce housing, as well as renters' rights issues. I've been working on these matters for 10 years. And what I want to do is bring all of that experience to serve my community in South Cobb.